I thought that I would take a little bit of time out and post a video on YouTube to hopefully help people that are suffering with depression and other forms of mental illness. For the past 5 weeks, I've been suffering with a downward cycle with my bipolar. The last 3 weeks in particular have been extremely difficult. I didn't realise how difficult it was until I was walking to the doctors, and I realised I just had no energy. I was walking like a 90-year-old man in tears. My boss had texted me to see how I was, and the doctor signed me off for another couple of weeks. I've had very little contact from people at work, which, when you need to know that people care, it kind of hurts a little bit. But, they're doing a job. And because you're off sick, it probably makes you feel even worse because they're covering for you. To give you an insight of how I'm feeling, feeling pretty helpless, worthless, and yes, I've wondered what the point in carrying on is a lot. I'm in so much mental pain and crying at the drop of a hat, and I can't bear it anymore. There's no reason why I feel like this either. And it's just the lowest cycle I've been on in about 15 years. And it makes me feel that I don't want to be here anymore sometimes. But every day I'm given a reason to still be here. Being single doesn't help, but then I'm also aware that being in the wrong relationship wouldn't be good either. My job isn't great, but it's a job. But I also know that there are people that suffer with the worst kind of things, terminal illness. Maybe they've just lost a job, maybe they're in grieving, but mental health knows no limits. It just does it. It doesn't care who it attacks. I'm a faithful man, I'm a religious man, I'm spiritual, not church going. The church, I think, sometimes does more harm than good. That's just my personal feeling. But I'm always comforted by the book of Job. He's a man whose faith really tests him, but it really does bring him through in the end. And I have to say that my faith and spirituality really does help me. And I know that some people don't believe in stuff like that, which is fine. I respect your choices. But sometimes it's hard to cope with the backlash of comments that you get from saying things like that. I'm having a serious look at my future at the moment. I'm trying to keep myself busy. My hobbies keep me going. I host a radio show, and somehow that keeps me going as well. I suppose the ultimate goal for me is always wanting to be a radio presenter. So that kind of gives me something to look forward to, in a way. I've got a family who love me. I've got a family who care for me a great deal, and I've got a handful of decent friends, very decent friends, so I'm very lucky in that department. It hurts, but what I would say is that if you can just find the strength to just do something every day, it kind of helps you get through it. Just take it one day at a time. And what I'm doing is I'm taking a photo in the morning, I'm taking a photo in the afternoon, I'm taking a photo in the evening, and I'm uploading it onto Facebook. And that just gives me a little boost, a little something to look forward to. Just take each day at a time. Just take each minute at a time. You know, just because you're depressed, just because you're in a really low cycle, it doesn't mean that you can't laugh at something. It doesn't mean that you can't tell a joke, but it does mean that it's very difficult to sustain that for any length of time. Personally, I find that my energy is so low, my desire to do things is kind of low as well. But just by taking a photo and putting it up there, it's just a little something that I can do, mainly to let my friends know that I'm coping, or I'm surviving, or I'm fighting on. It's not about crying for help, it's not about looking for attention, but I think it's important in this day and age that we don't keep this under wraps, that we feel free to be able to talk about it. Because, you know, forget religion, forget faith. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we need to be able to support each other and care for each other regardless of where we come from or what our background is. So I may post more videos as I continue on my journey, but I just want you guys to know that anyone who's watching this, you're not on your own. If you're suffering with depression, you're not on your own. And it's good to talk. It really is. It's good to talk about it. You know, I've got a handful of friends that just drop me a quick message every so often, hop around for a cup of tea or coffee, and that helps. It really does help. And if you're watching this because you know somebody who suffers with depression, from my personal experience, don't smother them. Just let them know that you're there. And yeah, just do something for you and take it one little step at a time. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It really isn't. So, yeah, nearly 8 minutes worth of talking at a camera to explain kind of how I'm feeling. And I hope that it helps. But just remember, you're not on your own, and it's nothing to be ashamed of.